evening, darlings, and welcome to episode 9 of Greenwood Talks. Now, we have a very serious sort of question to get through tonight, and I want to stress before I even read it that I am by no means a mental health professional. I don't claim to be, and I don't have any training whatsoever. My only experience is just talking to some people that I know who have suffered various types of mental illness, and I don't have a lot of experience with that either. So please take my advice with a grain of salt, darlings. And for any of you out there that perhaps have gone through the same or similar situation as this person, if you have any resources available for them, or if you are willing to talk with them about your experience and sort of help them out, by all means, please reply either on Tumblr or on YouTube so that we can sort of create a little more of maybe a network of support for this poor anonymous person. So I'm going to just get right in now to reading the question, and then we can talk about it. So they say, Lord Thranduil, I have mental issues, and often enough I disassociate. I don't have much of a handle on this, but lately in group chats and etc. I feel like I'm being ignored, or a conversation will go on around me even if I try to make an addition. I try not to be annoying so I don't repeat myself, and I've asked if I am, but I've been told that I'm not annoying. The thing is, it doesn't mean that I'm not either overlooked or ignored all the time, and my fear leads me to even more quiet, until I practically go unnoticed. This fucks with my head a lot, and I begin to reach the conclusion that I don't actually exist, or I'm not actually speaking. I don't like losing my grips on reality like this, but I don't know what else to do because I don't want to be annoying, but these are the only people that I can stand, so I can't find new friends. Everything sucks and I never feel like I'm real, or even that anything is anymore. It's terrifying. I can't bring this to a therapist because my mom cancels appointments because she thinks I'm mentally healthy, and talking to her raises more problems than anything. I don't want to die or anything. I just want this to stop, but I have no idea where this is going to go, and I'm really scared that I'm going to just completely lose touch with the world. How do I handle this? Darling, I have so much sympathy because although I've never experienced this personally, I can only imagine how absolutely terrifying it must feel to sort of be unsure if you've become invisible to even the people who sort of matter most to you. And let me just take this, I suppose, one sort of point at a time, because I think there's a lot of sort of outside factors that are adding to your issue. It sounds like you probably could have sort of a grip on what's going on, except that there's all these external factors that are just sort of compounding what's going on for you. So let's go ahead and start. As far as these friends of yours, I wonder if there's not sort of an additional group of friends that you could find. I know you say that you have problems standing other people, but perhaps there isn't some sort of way that you could find some other set of people that maybe have gone through something similar, that could be sort of a group that you just talk to when you're feeling down. And I know there are a lot of resources, both by telephone and also on the internet, that you can use for free, I'm pretty sure almost exclusively, and please send me any information about your location so that perhaps we can sort of get you in touch with someone who is more certified than I am, which, you know, is probably not too hard to find. I understand that it's a problem with sort of getting your parents to accept, or your mother in this case, that you are suffering from this. And so I think if you can find a source that doesn't require parental consent, sort of, and I think a lot of the hotlines and internet resources, they don't sort of require that. It's there for you to talk, and there are trained professionals and volunteers who are there just sort of to help you with these kinds of problems. And I don't wonder, because I know a lot of mental health issues are genetic or have a genetic component. And so I think a lot of times one of two things happens with parents who sort of are unwilling to see that their child is suffering from these things, whether it's that they could honestly just not see it for whatever reason, not be perceptive in a way to understand that. I think more often than not, however, it's either that they don't want to see their child, who is so precious to them um, and is a reflection of how they've raised you, suffering from something like this, because it could mean that they've done something wrong. And I think a lot of times with parenting, there's sort of always the parental guilt that what have I done to create an issue for my child? And so sometimes in order to sort of not accept that, the blinders go on, and so it becomes an issue of that. And because there is the sort of genetic factor involved, I think sometimes parents don't want to see it or don't want to accept it because they see the parallels with the suffering they've gone through in their lives. And so to accept that you have mental illness means they have to accept that they have or currently are suffering from it themselves. And I think that can be sort of a terrifying thing for a parent to know, and then again wondering if you didn't pass that on to your child unsuspectingly. And especially for parents that sort of have a tendency to hold a little tight onto their children, I think it's even harder in many ways. So it may not be a reflection of your parents not loving you so much as they just have a hard time accepting it themselves. So if we can sort of get you some resources where you don't need to worry about your parents, I think most of the time eventually they will sort of recommend that you go with a full-time professional person as opposed to just the volunteers. But if we can at least get you that first step, I think it would be useful to sort of getting you back on track to where you're trying to be. And I know that there are many people that suffer from issues surrounding sort of these reality episodes, and I've heard that it's quite common. So if anyone out there is suffering from this or has gone through something even sort of similar to this, please again leave any contact information you're willing to leave, or any resources that you may have, so that we can help this person. I wish that I had more sort of an understanding of what it's like to go through, to offer proper sympathies, or sort of or just to be able to understand sort of in a way that could be helpful to give you advice. But I have not gone through this, and so although logically I can put together how it must feel, I don't have a way to actually understand emotionally just how difficult this is. So so I think if we could get you some sort of a network of people who understand, I think, particularly if some of them have managed to overcome the issue, it could certainly give you sort of an outlet and a way to take back a little bit of that control and get a handle on things again. So I hope this is useful. I hope I haven't offended anyone with my terminology. I'm not really sure what exactly is correct as far as addressing it. So if I've made any mistakes, please correct me so that I don't make them in future. I definitely don't want to sort of hurt anyone by using words carelessly. So I hope some of this is helpful for you, darling, and please contact me further so that we can talk some more. And to all of you out there for watching, thank you and good night.